So the Blue Beetle, I thought that it was going to be like a 7. It was a good movie, and I do recommend that you go and see it.
Yeah.
But they have done such a horrible job lately promoting these movies. But then to blame it on an isolated natural event. Okay, so that was California. What about the rest of the world?
Exactly.
So
what was it going to do? 100 million in lower, Southern California? There's that many people there that were dying to go see the Blue Beetle movie that couldn't get out? All right. Welcome to another episode of Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
Good morning.
What's up, man? How we doing?
Doing good. We're doing good. New England day, rainy,
Yes,
but it's okay.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
know the winter is coming.
It's on its way, bro. It's going to get cold. I tell you what's not going to be cold, though, is this show, Adrian. It's going to be a hot show. I promise you that. It always is.
It always is.
We've been accused of several things here on Only Comics. We've been accused of telling the truth. Guilty as charged.
Yep.
We've been accused of hot takes.
Yep.
I wouldn't really call them hot takes, though. I would just say, I'm not a sheep. You're not a sheep.
Right.
So we're not going to agree with what everyone else agrees with. We're going to form our own opinions, believe it or not.
Yep.
And sometimes they're going to be opposite of your opinion. And that's why we come here once a week and discuss it. And I welcome all the feedback, critiques. Say what you want, dude. I don't care.
Right.
Because I'm sticking by my opinion.
There you go.
Or I may go to the other side. I don't know. Depends. I mean, last week we did a review, and both of our scores changed in the opposite direction. So,
well, to be honest, yours changed a little bit, and I think you secretly wanted to lower it a little bit more, especially with the news that just came out about the show.
Yeah.
I mean, really, a hurricane?
Come on, dude. Yeah, for that, you're right. Just for that reason, I want to take points off my score.
Right.
And I shouldn't, because it's not the movie's fault that the director's a dumbass.
Right.
But anyway, so that's what will happen here in Only Comics. And we tell you this every week, and please don't forget this. We're not experts.
Right.
I'm not a comic expert. Are you?
I'm not a comic expert.
Nope. We're fans.
Yep.
We like comics. We like comic book movies. We'll give you our take. We might be wrong about some shit. I don't know.
We're definitely going to be wrong about something.
Some things.
But for the most case, we're pretty on spot.
Absolutely. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. We're back here every week on Only Comics. Every Monday, new podcast drops. You'll find content throughout the week. This is going to be a fun show, though, because we're starting some new things. We introduced a new segment last week, your segment, Hidden Gem.
Yep.
So we got part 2 of that this week. We had a nice little pick there. And we have something fun that is going to last a good amount of time on this podcast. We're calling it the King of the Comics Tournament, okay? And what we're going to do is going to be 32 competitors, right? 4 different brackets broken up by power sets. We're going to pick the competitors today, and then week in and week out. And I don't know. One week we may go through 4 or 5 matches. One week we may go through 1.
Right.
We don't have many rules here in Only Comics. The only rule is, Adrian, we talk about comics and Only Comics.
Right. Kind of make it up as we go along.
Right. With some other things that kind of fit in that realm. It's the multiverse. It's like we're going down the multiverse of comics, dude. And we're fighting everything. We're fighting your opinions. We're fighting the directors. We're fighting status quo. We're
fighting Tom Cruise.
We're fighting Tom Cruise. You came up with a new word last week, Tom Cruisery.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That. Always new and different things here.
Absolutely. We're innovative. So that being said, our new segment, King of Comics, that will start this week. Like I said, we'll pick our fighters, and every week we'll go through. We'll have a fun discussion about who we would pick as a winner.
Right.
And here's what we don't care about. This is what I don't want to hear, Adrian. Well, in issue 35 of X-Men, they already fought and so. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. This is what we would do if these guys were fighting in something we created, a movie, a comic, and then we don't always agree, right?
Yep.
Because that's real life. You don't always agree. So you know what I did for that, Adrian? I don't know if you've seen this yet, but I got this coin here, okay? I don't know how well you can see it on here. That's heads, and then we got tails here. My man Two-Face, dude, Harvey Dent, check that out. So if we don't agree, right? Let's say Batman and Iron Man fight, okay? Yep. And you say Iron Man's going to win, and I say Batman's going to win. Well, we're just going to flip a coin, dude, and go, oh, shit, looks like Iron Man won.
Yep.
That's what it is, dude.
And that's the way it works.
That is how it works here on Only Comics. So that, we're going to start this week. But Our buddy. Who's our buddy this week? Newsflash, buddy.
I don't know. Let's go through it, and we'll pick him out as we go through.
We will. Your boy, one of your buddies, like actual buddies, Nick Cage. He's up this week.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if he's going to be our boy, but let's see. It's always interesting when Nick joins the crew.
Yes, it is, because we've learned here that you and I are not a big fan of the idea of Nick Cage playing a Superman with long hair.
No, that kind of 8 head he got going on. No.
Nope. But he did play Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Many moons ago.
Yes.
In the comic. And actually, dude, this was like late 90s maybe, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a while ago.
It was a while, dude. Like, I remember going to my dad's house to watch it. Like, that, craziness. So anyway, Nick Cage, there's a rumor that suggests that Nicolas Cage will appear in a future MCU movie as the Spirit of Vengeance Ghost Rider. How do you feel about this?
I'm cool with it because I like the first, 1 or 2 that he did.
Yeah.
This will be a nice trilogy wrap up for him.
Yeah.
But
Uh-oh.
Here we go with the Crypt Keepers again. We bringing out Nick, 20 years later, whatever it is. And again, I'm cool with him. That's like if you brought out Wesley Snipes again as Blade.
Blade again.
I mean, love the movies.
Don't give them any ideas.
Not the third one maybe, but
right.
We bring out Wesley again now after all of this time. I mean, come on. There's fresh actors. I'm always an advocate for the young and upcoming fresh struggling actors. Present us with another somebody else that can do the job just as well.
Yeah.
So I'm all for that. Start bringing in these cane kickers. They've had their time. Let's move on.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm kind of on this one. I don't care much, to be honest. I don't even really remember the Ghost Rider movies. I remember liking the first one better than the second one. I do remember that.
The only thing I remember really about the Ghost Rider is that A, Nicolas Cage was in it, and B, the Twinkie scene. I think it was the second one when the guy, he was like he got this power that he can, like, anything he touched died.
Yeah.
And he took this truck and he was driving down the road and he picked up something in the truck and it disintegrated. Then he picked up a Twinkie. We all know roaches and Twinkies going to survive the World War III. He picked up the Twinkie. The Twinkie didn't disintegrate. He starts laughing and he eats the Twinkie. So that's really the only thing I remember.
That's the highlight of the movie.
Exactly.
So, but it did look cool. I mean, for the CGI at the time, I thought it was all right. And one thing that I didn't know, I actually looked this up based off of this news article. So Ghost Rider has appeared in the MCU. Okay. Now, do you remember the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Agents, yes.
Yeah, with Coulson. Coulson, he was, killed in the Avengers and somehow came back for this show.
Right.
I've only seen a few episodes. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great one either.
Right. Well, I mean, I actually watched the whole thing. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Because it was at a time where this MCU thing just was kind of kicking off.
Yep.
You're hungry for stuff.
Yeah.
And now I probably wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would watch it again only because I liked it the first time around and I know what it's about.
Right.
But if I were to go and pick it out today, I probably wouldn't watch it because they've just dumped so much stuff. And that's some of the things that we'll talk about today. Yeah. They've just cranked out so much junk. Mm-hmm. And most of it is unfortunately junk. So I probably wouldn't be able to pick this one out out of all the other things.
I gotcha. I only saw a handful of episodes. It's not that I disliked it. It didn't grab my attention.
Right.
But there was an episode where there was a Ghost Rider was in it. Nick Cage didn't play Ghost Rider. It was somebody else, but technically he did appear in the MCU.
Okay.
So we do know that there is a Ghost Rider that exists. So I don't know if Nick Cage is going to come in and play this same one, or if it's going to be one from another multiverse, another universe. And it does sound like we've talked about Secret Wars here a little bit. That is, I guess, Avengers 6. Yeah. Right? So we will get into that in a minute. And I think this kind of ties into that, but it does sound like they're going to bring back a lot of, as you call them, Crypt Keepers for this movie, which I'm okay with for like a one movie appearance, but it's also like, dude, how many times do we need to do this though?
Right.
If
they bring them back, bring them back in like that movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of passed the baton over to what's his name, The Rock.
Yep.
In that movie when he was like a a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
and he went after this kid.
The Rundown.
And,
The Rundown.
The Rundown.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Schwarzenegger showed up in that and kind of nodded at him on his way out. I would enjoy some things like that.
Right.
Old dude passing the baton to a younger player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing stuff like that. But another Michael Keaton jumping out of a moving jet, I'm done, dude.
We're all set with that. So yeah, this is. I think there's no offense here, dude. I'm okay with this piece of news here. As long as he don't show up with a damn Superman cape, I think everyone will be all right.
Right.
Next up, Blue Beetle. All right. So hey, if you haven't seen Blue Beetle, or even if you have, check out our review from last week. We did an in-depth. We did a deep dive for those of you that saw it. We did a toe dip for anyone who's not seen it yet. And I think I settled on a 7 for the movie. I came in a little high as an 8, but as we started talking through, I was like, ooh, yeah, no. So I'm sticking to a 7. You were what, 4 or 5, something like that?
Yeah. I started out as with like a 4.
Yeah.
I bumped it up to a 4 or 5, and then I bumped it back down to a 4 as we discussed it. And it looks like the universe agrees with me.
Okay. Now, I did predict this though, Adrian. I said for me that it was going to be a good movie.
Yep.
And I think 7's good, not great, right? And I did say it was going to bomb at the box office.
Right.
So, Blue Beetle had one of the lowest openings for a DCEU movie. So I was right on both fronts for me.
Well, good is like a 5, actually,
Okay.
which is where I think you actually wanted to go by the time we got done. You just left it up at around 7. 7 is very good. Black Adam Rise is like a 8. Like very good kind of a thing.
Upset some people,
like The Matrix is like a 9.
Wow.
9, 10 for me.
I'd give The Matrix like a 5, dude.
Really? The first one?
Yeah.
It was mind blowing, dude. But anyway, so the Blue Beetle, I thought that it was going to be like a 7.
Yep.
Meaning, very good. But a 4, and then the box office thing. You're absolutely right about that. It bombed in the box office because that's what these guys do.
Right.
They limit the release so that it doesn't do well.
Yep.
And now they're blaming it on the hurricane. What's up with that?
That's the news for this week. So they're saying, they being Warner Brothers, okay, they attributed a low box office opening to the recent Hurricane Hillary that I guess hit part of Southern California. I mean, we live on the East Coast. I knew there. I mean, it's hurricane season. I knew it's a hurricane, and I feel bad for anyone who was affected by it.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about here today. We're talking about a studio using a natural disaster as an excuse for making a shitty movie.
Right. Exactly.
Let me back that up. Not making a shitty movie, marketing a movie shitty.
Right.
They did a poor job of marketing this movie.
Which has been their trend thus far. The movie, it's in and of itself, besides how I felt about it and how I struggled through keeping my eyes open while watching the movie. Despite all of that, it was a good movie, and I do recommend that you go and see it. But they have done such a horrible job lately promoting these movies. But then to blame it on an isolated natural event. Okay, so that was California. What about the rest of the world?
Exactly.
So
what was it going to do? $100 million in lower, Southern California? There's that many people there that were dying to go see the Blue Beetle movie that couldn't get out?
Exactly. No. They messed up once again, and the trend continues. Blame it on everybody else but the directors and the people that's promoting them. Bad marketing. Now you're going to have kids in movie theaters all over the world, serving popcorn and talking about how bad the marketing is.
Right.
So this has been a trend, and shame on you guys for putting it on people, putting it on everything else other than where the blame needs to lie, and that's the directors and the marketing group.
Yep. It opened at 25 million domestic box office. Okay, so U.S. only 25. Now, there's only, I think, one movie in the DCU that opened up less than that, and that was Wonder Woman 1984, which I believe came out around COVID.
Right.
The Suicide Squad did 26 million. That was the second, which I think Blue Beetle's better than that movie.
Yes.
That did 26 million opening week. Shazam! Fury of Gods, I've not seen. I have no interest in seeing. 30 million. And then The Flash, your boy. My boy Andy Muschietti came through with 50. He dropped 55 on him, 55 million, which is still not good.
Right.
You know, but I attribute it to the marketing. I don't think it had anything to do with the hurricane. I mean, sure, it could affect it a little bit, but dude, it did 25 million throughout the entire U.S. Like, what was it going to pick up another 2 million there?
Right.
It's not going to be a dramatic impact.
No.
But the fact that the only people that knew about the movie were like diehard comic fans.
Right.
That will find out about every movie.
Exactly. I mean, why do we eat chicken? Why do we eat McDonald's? Why do we eat anything? Why do we consume, not just food, but why do we consume whatever we consume? It's because of the marketing.
Right. Not because it's best for you.
Right. If the marketing wasn't there, we wouldn't even know about most of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Which means that because we didn't know about this, because they did a shitty job of doing the marketing, we didn't consume the way that this movie probably should have been consumed.
Right.
It was not very good for, to me as a movie, but it was good enough for the masses, and I think they missed another opportunity, and I think other people are going to miss the opportunity to experience it because of the bad marketing.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely the downfall. Like, Adrian, is it fair to say that you are more critical of movies than I am?
I would say so, because I have higher expectations, because I got probably 15, 20 years on you in the comics.
Yep. Yeah, so you want something more. You're expecting something more.
Right.
And you have less tolerance for things that I would chalk up to as tomfoolery.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of too much tomfoolery, but you're less tolerant. So it's kind of why you say 4 or 5, but you still say good movie, you should watch it.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So we're not saying don't watch it, but here's the disservice. You don't market this. There are people out there that probably would really enjoy this movie.
Right.
More than you and I.
Right.
But they're not going to go see it because they don't even fucking know it came out.
Exactly. All that's true. It's like, I don't even know what to compare it to, but all I know is this should have been marketed better than what it was.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't, don't blame somebody else for it. And in this case, a natural disaster, a hurricane, for you failing. That's just miserable.
Dude, there's plenty of movies that weren't released in China for whatever, and I don't get into all the political reasons why, but there's big name movies that were not released in China, and they don't use that as an excuse.
Right.
I mean, Black Adam wasn't released in China.
Nope.
It probably would have done another $50 million in China.
Yep.
But you don't see them coming out and, well, that's the reason why the movie sucked. No. It's because y'all didn't market the shit at all. No one knew about it. I saw one on TikTok was like, no, that's not it. It's the studio's job is to market to the normies, not the comic book fans. Like, first of all, I don't know what that means, because the studio's job is to market the movie in general.
Right.
And even the marketing that they put out, it didn't even really display the best parts of the movie.
Right. That comment almost sounds like comic book people should know that the movie is coming out.
Right.
So we don't need to market to them.
You don't need to market to us.
So you need to market to the regular folk.
Yeah.
Well, they did a shitty job on both accounts.
Exactly.
So, regular folk didn't know that the movie was coming out. And, the comic book people were probably dismayed by what they saw in the marketing.
Absolutely. It's like we went to see it. Like that'd be a question, right? Well, how come you guys went to see it? Well, we do a podcast where we review this stuff.
Right.
I mean, I've seen more comic book movies this year than I have I don't know how long.
Absolutely.
Because it's what we do.
And then deep diving into, we do research here.
Right.
I mean, we're not professionals.
Nope.
But we do research enough to, even if it's just to piss you off, because we have our opinions, and we know that you all aren't going to agree with everything that we're saying.
Right.
So we do a little research. We watch a few more movies, and we enjoy the conversation.
Yep.
And that's how we come about this stuff. So that's why we are watching a movie, because we are
shit
in
to do with
tune.
the marketing, dude.
Huh?
It ain't got shit to do with the marketing. Why we saw it. We market it to ourselves.
That's right.
So that's definitely up in the running for Buddy. I think WB as a whole is our buddy this week. So newsflash, Buddy, it's not about the hurricane. It's not anyone else's fault but your own. Y'all did a shitty job of marketing a somewhat decent movie. You fucked up.
So entities are people, huh?
They are, dude. They have more rights than us usually.
I like that. So it's not just about an individual.
No.
We can identify people, entities. Nice.
Absolutely. You can put your shoulder on anything and just be like, newsflash, buddy. calm down. Entity, people, children, anyone, dude. It can be. No one's off. The hurricane could be Buddy. You know, that's what WB tried to do.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. But
not the kids. Though.
No, not the kids. No, we keep them exempt. So, newsflash, Buddy. The marketing sucked. That's why nobody went to see it. It's too bad. Also, last thing I'll say about this movie. I said this before. One of the things that drove me crazy, even prior to seeing it, was how on the fence James Gunn and whoever's in charge in the DCU was about letting us know where this movie takes place, letting us know if this is going to be part of the DCU or the DCEU, because there are some people, you want to talk about comic book fans, there's some people that only care about the overarching story.
Right.
So if there's a standalone movie that doesn't tie in, why go see it?
Right.
My point about Aquaman 2, that storyline is done, DCEU. I don't care about that movie.
Right.
For what?
Well, I think because it did so well, they're going to produce the movie.
Yeah.
But in light of, how things have been performing thus far, they're going to flop this one as well.
Yeah.
So I hope they do well with the Aquaman, but I'm not saying it right now based on what they're doing.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Secret Wars. We've talked a lot about this here. There's been a handful of rumors over the past few weeks about Secret Wars. We heard that, Wanda may play a big part in that movie. Scarlet Witch may be a villain similar to the way she was in Doctor Strange. We've heard about the X-Men showing up in Secret Wars. The entire Fox universe is allegedly on the table. Spider-Verse, those individuals, Tobey Maguire's, the Andrew Garfields. There's all kinds of rumors.
Right.
But one of the other rumors is that this movie may reboot the MCU.
Okay, another reboot story.
Another reboot. So I was curious, Adrian. You're a fan of the MCU.
Yeah.
Partly why we even, are doing this podcast, right?
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the MCU. I've been there since the beginning. I saw Iron Man in the theaters with my son and my little sister at the time, right? So I'm all about it. Do you think that when this movie comes out, would it be time for a reboot, and should they reboot the MCU, or should they just continue the same story that they've been running for, almost 15 years now?
I think they should. It's a hybrid. I think strongly that they should continue.
Yeah.
But as I've said in the past, there's so much content. They can always introduce new content, refresh the actors and actresses, and just keep pushing this thing forward. I'm not saying that they can't reboot in the sense of have a new adventure.
Yeah.
So a reboot for me would be a new adventure, like a 10-year, let's go down this path, but with these same sets of how things are now.
Same characters.
Yeah, same characters. Okay. Introduce, some one-offs here and there, not to the level or to the speed that they're doing, right now, pulling – every obscure side kick from the corners, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Look in the comics, get some good content, go down the road for like 5, 6, 7, 10 years, right? Yeah. Same characters, introduce us to some new stuff, and then continue on in that direction. Not just throw everything away from what you've done,
right? And
then keep starting all over. It's like we're seeing Uncle Ben die over and over again. We're seeing the Waynes die over and over and over again. So we're kind of tired of that.
Yeah.
Stop with the reboots. You're killing yourself, and you're harming your fan base.
Yeah. So what you're describing sounds more like a reset in a way. Like same characters, same actors. Like Tom Holland keep playing Spider-Man, or new character. No,
we can get rid of. I mean, we can after a certain period of time, because again, like Hugh Jackman, he had to keep his body fit for a decade.
Yep.
My man, Captain America, he had to keep his body fit for a decade.
Right.
Robert Downey Jr., decade. These characters, they have to maintain their psyche, their physique over a period of years. They get tired of this shit too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but don't run them into the ground. Don't bring them back with canes. Have somebody else younger, fresher in the queue. Train them up. Partner them. Have it like Batman and Robin. Batman is the current guy. Have Robin in the wings. Yeah. When Batman retires, let Robin take over. And that way it's a seamless transition, as opposed to trying to find these people at the last minute or grave robbing, and resurrecting these people, to come back and play these scenes that just don't make any sense.
Right. And I would be okay with somewhat of a reboot if it was done like this, right? We have this multiverse, right? Yeah. So which means there's infinite different Peter Parkers, infinite, Tony Starks. Like there's another Tony Stark out there somewhere in the multiverse, sure. Right? I would be okay if the reboot, was really just us moving into another universe and picking up that story. It's still part of the multiverse.
Okay.
Maybe we leave whatever Earth this one, I don't know, Earth 199, whatever they call this Earth that we've been used to since, 2008 Iron Man.
Yep.
So a reboot, yes, but not like, hey, we're going to scrap everything. Now we're just going to show you what's going on in this universe.
I'm okay with that as well, as long as there's a transition that makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't just pop up and say, okay, make the audience assume or hope that the audience understands that you're on Earth 898 now,
right?
As opposed to Earth 616.
Yeah. Give us a reason why we need to be there.
Transition us over there and then leave us there. So you have that continuity.
Yeah.
And then move ahead with a good storyline. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And we've not seen that, but we've seen characters pulled from other universes into whatever this. Even though it's so funny to say Earth, well, it's not just Earth, it's the whole fucking universe, right? Like, because Gamora in Guardians 3 is from a different universe. She ain't from Earth.
Right.
But now the Gamora that we have in the main universe in the MCU is not the one that was thrown off the cliff in Infinity War.
Right.
But she's here to stay, right? So almost like the opposite. Instead of pulling a character from there into this, let's throw us into that universe. And I think they could do it very simply with some type of, like, they would have to maybe take one character from this universe and send them there, like a villain or something, or some type of weapon. Like, imagine if, the gauntlet was moved from one universe to the next.
Right.
And then we pick up the story there. I'd be okay with something like that.
Yeah. But this toe dipping into universes, for a moment somebody comes in or weapon comes in, or, you have to, first of all, you're going to spend instead of telling a good story, you're going to spend most of that movie explaining how this thing or person is toe dipping. Right. And then they're going to disappear again, and it's just confusing. So I agree with you. We can reboot that way. Yeah. Let's naturally, what do we call it? Organically transition over to another universe and then pick up the story there, a good story, and then keep it pushing.
Yeah. Hey, the key to what you just said, a good story.
Right.
That's what we want. It really, I'd be okay with just about anything as long as it's not rushed.
Right.
And as long as it makes sense. That's the stuff that annoys me, is like, Multiverse of Madness. I go back and forth on that movie all the time. It's like, I like it on one day, and then I think about all the tomfoolery that happens in it, and I'm like, God, it's just way too much, which is part of my complaint with the Blue Beetle. It's just way too much at once.
Right.
We go from, knowing nothing about this to all of a sudden they're flying spaceships. He's got this power, and then, the grandma's a damn, military fucking general, out of nowhere.
But they're losing a house.
Yeah, losing a house. We got my man who's a damn genius, right? Because everybody in comics has to be a genius.
Right.
Where do they find all these geniuses, by the way?
I don't know.
Why? That's one, comic trope that I wish we can get away from. Every superhero and supervillain does not need to have genius intellect.
Right.
But
are there any, stupid... anything superheroes or super villains? They got to be.
Yeah, we gotta have a dumbass superhero.
some level of intellect in order to just pull off what they're doing. So
but everyone shouldn't be able to build a supercomputer in their trunk.
That's true.
With scraps they find in the junkyard.
Right.
But so yeah, I'm okay with it if it's done the right way, which is kind of like my take on a lot of the stuff with the MCU right now. Like, if y'all just do it the right way. What's the right way? The way y'all used to do it. Take the way you're doing it now and remember how you used to do it.
Right. Reboot that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you mentioned just, toe dip and pulling back and forth. I do want to get away from this multiverse being an excuse to do whatever you want. Because there's no rules now, right? You just you want Wolverine in your movie? Well, shit, here, throw him in there. He came from this universe.
Right.
You want Professor X to show up? Yeah, just who cares? Throw him in there.
Right.
So yeah, do they need to reboot? I don't know. Would I be okay with it if it's done right?
Right.
Well, there you have it. Newsflash this week. We're giving the award to the WB as a whole.
There you go.
Yep. Kind of like the old Tupac. If you're with WB, if you want to be down with WB, fuck you too. If you, the whole deal, dude. If you like them, if you have a WB shirt, you're included.
It's that Tupac song.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. So next up, what do we got, Adrian? We got Hidden Gem. Why don't we hop into that? Your segment. You so what we did, if you haven't seen the segment last week, it was Guardian.
Yep.
So Adrian has I'd say more comic book knowledge than me. Obviously, you mentioned you had 15-year head start on me, right?
Well, not necessarily more comic book knowledge, but maybe a little bit more comic book history.
History. There you go. That's a good point. Definitely more history. You had about close to a 15-year jump on me. And so I kind of lean on Adrian when there's a character I never heard of. Odds are you have, right? So Adrian's weekly segment is Hidden Gem. Okay. Where we talk about maybe an obscure, not so popular, unknown character, and we just have a conversation about it. So last week was The Guardian. What do we got going on this week?
This week we have Binary, and it kind of ties in with what's going on now with Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
So Binary is, so we have Superman, right?
Yep.
And then there's a more superpowered Superman 1000 or something like that, right? Then we have a Thor.
Yep.
And then you have like a Rune King Thor, who's like a step level of, Thor.
Got it.
So we have Jean Grey.
Yep.
We have her alter ego, Phoenix, right?
Yep.
Another cosmic level, power-up level of this superhero. So Binary is Carol Danvers. She is, Captain Marvel, but she is a enhanced version of. So Binary is the enhanced version of Captain Marvel. She was kidnapped, experimented on by the Brood or some alien form, and they released this this out of her, or they infused her with some like a white hole.
White hole, yeah.
So it made her the next level of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So Captain Marvel already had. She can fly through space without oxygen.
Yeah.
Super strength, probably at the 100-ton level.
Yeah.
Right. Invulnerability, slow aging, things like that. So Binary is the next level. She can fly at the speed of light. She can manipulate any kind of cosmic energy, electromagnetic, light, all that kind of good stuff. So she is the next level of what we already know today as Captain Marvel.
Wow. And, I mean, we've learned, at least in the MCU, the Carol Danvers version of the Captain Marvel is one of the most powerful characters in the MCU.
Right.
I mean, remember Endgame when she comes in the end? Like, if Thanos doesn't have his own army, start attacking the ground,
right?
Pretty sure. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was with Wanda. This is when he was fighting Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. He had to pull the Power Stone out of the gauntlet, put it in his hand, and hit her just to get her off of him.
Right. Right.
Remember when he headbutted her and she didn't even budge?
Right.
So when we see her like that in the MCU with the flames and stuff like that, is that similar to this Binary form?
That's absolutely this Binary form. So she can tap into it periodically. But the thing about it is like, I mean, Binary is it's like a real cool, superpowered version of her. Yeah. But the problem I have with it, even though, we kind of pull this personality out of the trunk, is that, again, how do you, if it's hard for you to portray a Captain Marvel on the screen, how can you portray a Binary on the screen properly? Right. How do you portray Reed Richards' properly? I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Galactus when he comes out.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not just a big stupid cloud like he was in the first, the first go around. Hopefully, right. But you know what? To that, the Eternals, wasn't crazy about the movie. I'd probably give it a 4 or 5. I think it's okay. But we got to see the Celestials in that movie, right? Which they're giant,
right?
Now I would assume they're probably similar in size to Galactus, right?
Galactus can vary his height, but
Okay.
typically, yes.
Okay, so Galactus at his max is probably somewhere around that
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Okay, so we've at least seen how he could potentially look on screen.
Right.
So I guess MCU has that going in their favor. But
Yep.
yeah, the power set in that, will we be able to see that? I don't know. They're getting to an interest play. You know, you talk about binary. Secret Invasion Episode 6, which we talk about a lot here.
Yeah.
When Gaia receives, Captain Marvel's power along with everyone, else who was ever close to Captain Marvel in her life, and every Avenger and all of the Avengers' friends. And anyway, but when she destroyed Gravik, did she go binary? Is that what we saw?
No, I think that she has just so many power sets.
Okay.
I mean, that natural glow off of her is Captain Marvel.
Okay.
It's almost like.
But you wouldn't say she went full binary.
No. If she went full binary, it'd be like a Phoenix event.
Got it.
I mean, Phoenix, when she goes, I mean, she could like fill up.
Yeah.
It's like planetary size.
Yep.
Effects.
That's another one we haven't seen displayed properly yet on screen.
Because they couldn't. I mean, they couldn't get the normal X-Men stuff right first. And then after that comes this fake Galactus.
Right.
So I mean, they did a good job. The only thing that came out of the Eternals is how they portrayed the
Powers?
no
Oh,
the
Celestials.
the Celestials.
Yeah.
So they got the size properly.
Yeah.
So now, but it's also the power set and what they actually do with it in the movies that I'm interested in seeing. Specifically, Galactus, because Galactus is pretty bad.
Yeah, he's badass. Yeah, no doubt. Also read that for binary, her power is similar to a star.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
Which obviously explains the whole flaming hair and stuff. And it's a pretty cool ass look.
Oh yeah.
So isn't there a scene in the Captain Marvel movie, I think it's towards the end when she destroys the ship? Is she binary there?
No, they're just Captain
That's
Marvel.
not, so we've not seen her binary yet.
No.
Got it.
No.
Which would be interesting. Well, also the way, at least in the comics, it happened was, you said the alien race, the Brood, basically kidnapped her, experimented on her, or whatever, and unlocked these powers.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to see. So, man, maybe Carol Danvers ends up in the King of Comics tournament, dude.
I think we need to look into that. Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be up in a second. So that's our hidden gem. Before we get into King of Comics, we're gonna wrap with that. But we get a lot of, I don't know, support and a lot of shit for some of our movie takes here, right? So I thought, Adrian, it would be fun to go through what we consider our Mount Rushmore of comic movies. Okay, so I said top 5. I don't know how many faces are chiseled into Mount Rushmore. Is it 4 or 5?
I don't.
Now, this has nothing to do with comics, but God, how egotistical we are as a society where we found a fucking rock and carved faces into the rock. Like, look at us.
And isn't it like one of the 7 wonders of the world?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing natural. Nothing
No.
natural that's a wonder of the world, but everything that's man-made is a wonder of the world.
Oh, it's a wonder for me. I wonder why the fuck y'all did that. It's definitely a wonder for me. I wonder whose idea was this. Anyways.
Some egotistical pricks from back in the day.
Absolutely. So, top 5 comic movies. The Mount Rushmore. We can do them in order or just no order?
I'm no order because it's hard.
Dude.
It's hard.
All right. So, I came up with 4 pretty easy. And the 5th, I'm at no lie. I'll be transparent. We don't lie on Only Comics. I got about 3 movies to pick from for my 5th one. So, let's just go. We'll go one by one. I'll throw my first one out there. I'll share Across the Spider-Verse. The second Spider-Verse movie, to me, is a Mount Rushmore comic book movie.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
I actually had I just had Miles Morales.
Okay.
But either one of those would do it for me.
All right. So which one you picking, though? Put you on the spot, dude. It's your Mount Rushmore. We're carving this into a mountain, Adrian.
I go with the second one.
The second one.
I like that.
Okay. All right. Another one for you guys. Logan. Logan is probably, if we were ranking them, he'd be number 1 or 2 for me.
Okay.
That movie, I think, reshaped, made a lot of people rethink what a comic book movie could be. Because it didn't feel like a comic book. It felt like just a really good movie. Now, it did benefit from having, and it's hard with comic movies because it did benefit from having this X-Men history of movies prior to it. I don't know if it would have had the same impact if there wasn't a history.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way they handled that character, the character arc, just the stuff with Xavier in it, it felt grounded too, which I'm a big fan of. I tend to get a little tired of the whole every movie and every show, the entire universe is at stake.
Right.
At some point, it's like, you know what, just screw the universe, dude. Like,
right.
So that'd be another one for me. So far, Across the Spider-Verse, Logan, what you got for number 2 or another one?
With that kind of vibe, I got Blade.
Okay.
The first one.
Yeah.
Because, like the rest of the universe, we're all enamored with vampires, right? So, and also when that movie came out, it was before all of this MCU stuff, right? So it was just like this kick-ass vampire versus vampire movie.
Yep.
And Snipes did a good job.
He did.
Pulling that off.
Yeah.
So it's a little old school, and it's definitely not visually effect driven.
Right.
But it was a entertaining storyline with all the elements in it that I liked. The vampire, the action, the martial arts stuff, and it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
So that's my second pick.
Did you ever read Blade comics prior to the movie?
Nope.
No.
Never even heard of them before then.
No, me neither.
I just like the movie.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So far you said Across the Spider-Verse, Blade. I said Across the Spider-Verse, Logan. Another one for me. You might laugh at this one. The Batman. The Batman, the movie with Robert Pattinson, came out last year. To me, that movie, I think I said this before on the show. It is the most true to comic take on Batman, Gotham, the whole universe, and it's been my favorite take. I feel like I love The Dark Knight. This was hard for me. I had those two, But what I'll say about The Dark Knight is, if I ask anyone, Adrian, what is their name a favorite line, favorite scene, favorite this from Dark Knight, 99% of the time it's going to be something based around Heath Ledger's Joker. So I feel like the movie gets some unwarranted praise because of how great Heath Ledger was.
Right.
Not to say the rest of the movie was bad, but the Christian Bale portrayal of Batman, not my favorite. It was okay. Not my favorite. So I think that movie it's held in a light that is unwarranted, I believe. I think it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie.
Right.
But as far as comic book movie, Mount Rushmore, I'm throwing the Batman up there. I love the atmosphere of the movie. I love the look, the feel. I love the length. It was a 3-hour movie that didn't feel like 3 hours to me. I love that we actually got to see Batman. Like, we always hear he's the greatest detective, right?
Right.
We got to see him do more detective work in that one movie than we have any other appearance.
Right.
He didn't have the benefit of Lucius Fox to help him out.
Right.
It was gritty. It was grounded. It was what I just said about Logan. Batman wasn't trying to save the whole universe, dude.
Local.
He was trying to save these people in this, arena in Gotham while it was being flooded.
Right.
Very grounded.
Keeping it local.
Yep. So I love that. So that's my third one on this list.
My third one is also a Batman movie. George Clooney. No, not at all. Mine was the Christian Bale one.
Okay. Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Because for me, that was a reset.
Yeah.
It reset how the Batman was portrayed. It wasn't this comical, nipple armored,
no tomfoolery in that movie.
Kind of a show. So I'm gonna go. Christian Bale is my favorite Batman, Bruce Wayne combo. I did like the Batman, but to me that was the younger Batman.
Okay.
Before he got into I Am Vengeance kind of a deal. He just kicked ass and took names.
Yes.
But the Christian Bale was the more polished Batman.
Okay. So you like that polished Batman?
Yeah.
Now you're not offended that we didn't agree?
Not at all. I might think about it later though.
Yeah. No, it's what we do. Who cares?
Right.
Right. That's mine. That's yours.
Yep.
All right. My last one. God, I got three. Funny thing is, you can even see my notes if you want. Dark Knight is on here for a third potential.
Right.
This is what I'm struggling with: Civil War, Dark Knight, and No Way Home. 3 movies that I absolutely love. I am going to go with Civil War.
Okay.
Yep. I absolutely love that movie. I think it is the perfect MCU movie. I think if someone asked me, why do you love comic book movies? Give me one movie to watch to show me why. It's Civil War.
Right.
Because it has a little bit of everything. It has major conflict. You have two sides that don't agree. Reminds me a lot of some of the X-Men comics where Magneto and Professor X, their mission is kind of the same, but they go about it in different ways and they disagree.
Right.
We got to see that with Captain America and Iron Man, right? They have a very similar, why, right? They want to protect people, but they go about it in different ways.
Right.
Cap wants to, he does not trust government anymore. Tony Stark wants to kind of follow everything by the book at this point,
right.
So they clash there. We get to see a handful of characters, like Black Panther and Spider-Man are both introduced in this movie.
Yep.
And the Russo brothers did a great job of juggling that. It didn't feel overstuffed, and I think the ending, it was a movie where I couldn't really predict the ending. I didn't know how it was going to end.
Right.
And I like that it didn't end with everything being perfect. Now, to have a movie like this, you have to have years of other stories that tie. Like, we got to see the first, I guess, discord between Stark and Captain America in the first Avengers movie.
Right.
I mean, they didn't get along then, but they worked with each other.
They were cordial.
Yeah, they were cordial, absolutely. And we kind of got to see everything come to its boiling point in this movie. So that, I'm going to go with that one for my Mount Rushmore, Civil War.
Okay. I'll agree with you. I think this is our fourth one, though. We got one more after that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll agree with you on that. But I was tossing that up with Iron Man.
The first one.
The first one.
Okay.
Because it was iconic. It was like the first, and Iron Man's my man, right?
Yeah.
My favorite superhero. I love the tech. I love how it developed, even though the original Iron Man, of course, was made back in, Vietnam days.
Right.
So they made him in a Vietnam era setting.
Yeah.
But I like how they pulled him coming out, him creating the first Iron Man armor. So I liked all of that. But I'll go with Civil War. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
See what we just did? We
Look at
disagreed.
Right.
Then we agreed.
Yep. No
That's
one's
how it
upset. We're good,
Didn't even break out into a sweat.
No, but I think, my 5 were Logan, Cross the Spider-Verse. Oh, I do have one. Did I say Infinity War yet?
No.
Shit, I just spoiled it. There you go. There's my 5th. Man, Infinity War. That's my 5th one.
Okay.
That is my – now I said that, Civil War is the perfect MCU movie. But I think my all-time favorite MCU movie to rewatch is Infinity War.
Okay.
This movie for me I just said Civil War had everything. This thing had everything and then some. We got to see a badass villain.
Right.
Thanos was a motherfucker in this movie, dude. And that, why you it makes the story better when the villain is that ruthless, but you also understand, not that you agree with, but you understand some of his issue.
Right.
Right? Like, he is saying, well, the universe is overpopulated, which, we've seen proof of that if you want, right? And his solution, now, even though you could argue you can take the stones and just double all the resources, right?
Right.
Maybe that'll be too much of abundance and then people won't appreciate it. I don't know. But his idea was, shit, let's just whack half the universe, and whoever gets whacked.
Right.
And that way we cut down the amount of people and we have twice the amount of resources.
Right.
If you're in one of these impoverished areas, you probably think it's probably a fucking good idea, right?
Right.
Now, if you're not, you're probably like, dude, that's ruthless and nasty. And then you get to see the levels that he's willing to go. And you also see him conflicted a little bit.
Right.
He throws Gamora off. As much as he was going to do it anyways, it did affect him.
Right.
To the point where even when he's having these flashbacks or these kind of mental struggles, he sees young Gamora challenging him, so we get to see Tony Stark almost die.
Yep.
It was kind of teased, right? And dude, I no lie, Adrian, at that part, I almost fell out of my chair in the theaters.
Wow.
Because up until this, we've never really seen real big important deaths in the MCU.
Right.
Villains died, that was about it.
Right.
But when they were on, I think it was Titan, and the battle's not going the way they plan, and then all of a sudden, what's his name, Thanos stabs Stark right through his abdomen. I was like, oh shit, he's dying. I almost fell out of my chair for that one.
Wow.
And then as much as going into it, I was 50-50 on if the snap was going to happen, because they did a great job. We talk about bad marketing. They did a great job of marketing this movie.
Right.
They showed scenes where the gauntlet was missing stones that were later in the movie to lead you to believe that he didn't get all the stones.
Right.
And then when you're in the movie, like, oh shit, he did get all the stones. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they actually, like you said this a few weeks ago, that they need to be more bold in general.
Right.
This movie was bold. The fact that they actually snapped, dude, and the snap was so awesome because Thor's coming in. He's got his new weapon. He's, he ain't no rune Thor, but he's probably most powerful in this movie.
Right.
And he comes into Wakanda with the Stormbreaker, and dude, that thing that the little whizzes hits him right in the chest. And you're like, he's got him.
Right.
My man's like, you should have went for the head. Bam.
Right.
And then, like, dude, you could hear a pin drop in the theater.
Wow.
And all of a sudden they're fading off so I think it took balls. It took being bold to do that. To kill off half of your characters for over a year. That's bold.
Right.
So that's my fifth. That rounds out. So my Mount Rushmore: Logan, Across the Spider-Verse, Infinity War, The Batman, and Civil War.
Okay.
What's your last?
My last is no surprise, Black Adam.
Okay.
Not because it's at that movie's level, but because it was, for me, it was redemption for DC.
Okay.
Even though they shit all over it after the fact.
They screwed that up.
I liked it because of the culture. I liked it because it made me a superhero by how the visual effects, I love it. It was a smooth transition. Rock did a great job, of this movie. Nice little teaser at the end with Cavill, Superman, which they also pooch screwed that.
Yep.
But for me, it was more redemption for DC, and then they just immediately shit all over everything.
Yep.
But that would be my number 5.
Wow.
So Iron Man, Blade, Dark Knight, Black Adam, and Spider-Man.
Wow, nice list, dude. Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yep. Cool. There you have it. Those are our Mount Rushmores. No, we're not going to carve them in any stones anywhere because that's ridiculous. So,
hold on. I got a question for you, though, Mike.
Yep.
So, Thanos.
Yep.
Nut job.
Yes.
Okay. High Evolutionary.
Cool.
Whack job.
Yes.
They both were on a mission, right? Pretty much to destroy the universe.
Correct.
Why was Thanos smoother than the High Evolutionary?
Why was he smoother?
Why was he more acceptable in his mission? Why was it seemed as cooler kind of, than the High Evolutionary? Because they were both, you talk about wiping out universes and stuff.
Right.
But the High Evolutionary was just...
Oh, yeah. He didn't give a fuck. I think Thanos, he actually convinced himself what he was doing was right. He actually believed that was right.
As opposed to the High Evolutionary?
I gotta imagine there was a part of him that knew it was sick and twisted. Like, he got a kick out of... If you remember when Rocket, it's funny you brought this up because I'm actually rewatching this right now because it is on Disney Plus. And as much as I enjoyed it, we reviewed so many things I kind of like went past it quick. But this movie's actually really good.
Yep.
Remember the scene where Rocket, he calls him like P138 or some shit. He solves the equation for the evolution problem where and then they start talking about this new world, and High Evolutionary almost laughs at the idea of like, you think you're going to be there? Like, so I think a couple things. One, I think Thanos believed what he was doing was right. And you could argue maybe High Evolutionary did too. Thanos did a better job of hiding his crazy.
Okay.
I think High Evolutionary he didn't care. Now, could it have been, I don't know who's older, do you?
I don't.
So my theory would be maybe High Evolutionary is older.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had longer for his insanity to bake in, and he just was at this high evolutionary I don't care point, as opposed to Thanos he was on a mission to do something that he thought was right at the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that probably played into it. I bet if we looked it up, I bet the MCU's High Evolutionary is a lot older than Thanos, because even in those flashbacks, he was sick, but not as sick as he is now.
Right.
Now it's like, dude, he's ready to just kill, whole planets like that.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Even the counter Earth that he had with the animals that were evolved, dude, he's like on to the next one already.
Right. This didn't work out the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that you guys are interfering with this stuff, and let's just wipe him out and move on to the next thing. Yeah.
And Thanos was more like, he almost wanted you to feel like he was a martyr. Like, I'm doing this to save humanity. High Evolutionary was like, yo, humanity sucks. I'm going to make my own shit.
Right. High Evolutionary was just cray-cray, as we call it.
He was. Yep. He was batshit crazy. You know what they say I'm not from the South, but they say he's crazy as a run-over squirrel. I heard that.
I am from the South, and I never heard that.
You never heard that?
No.
Maybe the dude was making it up then, you know?
Just like I never saw, when you're getting ready to get in a fight, you take your hat off and throw it up in the air. But, that's something else, though.
Makes you stronger. All right. So here we are, King of the Comics tournament. Okay. I think this is going to be fun. And I don't think everyone's going to agree with us, which is going to make it even more fun.
That's okay.
So we got 8 categories. And so the first bracket, we got to pick 4 competitors for each bracket.
Okay.
Right? So the way we're going to do it is we're just going to split the picks.
All right.
One of us is going to pick someone. The other is going to pick who his opponent will be. And we're going to try to match it up. Like, we don't, I'm not going to have, Thor fight Alfred. It's not going to be, we're going to try to keep it fair.
Right. We're not going to make it ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. We're not putting Ezra Miller's Flash in this, against Thanos.
My God.
We're not doing that. Maybe we should put Andy Muschietti and Ali Salim in their own bracket.
There you go.
Let them fight.
There you
go. And actually all the fights take place in James Gunn's garage.
With Alfred.
No, but seriously, the way I would envision it like this. You remember Thor Ragnarok?
Yep.
When Hulk and Thor are fighting in this big arena?
Yep.
So I guess imagine this, guy. This is what we're gonna do. There's a big tournament happening somewhere in space, and it's in this arena, and it's 1v1 fights, and it's gonna happen every week, and we're gonna go through it and determine the winner. So no home field advantage, no Tony Stark's at the Avenger compound. Nope, we're just so first bracket is gonna be based off of super strong characters. Okay,
hold on. So strength, right?
Yep.
This is not. So we got a couple of people in here with multiple powers.
Yes.
So we're not talking about the combination of those powers.
Nope.
We're talking about category-specific stuff. In this case, strength. Correct?
Yep.
All right.
And I'll just kind of give you guys, you have the list, right?
Yep.
These are a handful of names that are, and we're not limited to these, but Superman, Hulk, Thor, Wonder Woman, Colossus, Shazam, Black Adam, She-Hulk, Swamp Thing, Captain Marvel. These are all characters. These types of characters will fall into this bracket. So, let's flip a coin and see who goes first, Adrian.
All right.
You call it in the air.
Heads.
Nope, I can't even catch it. It's heads.
Oh.
All right, pick your first pick from the super strength group.
My first pick is going to be Superman.
All right. Superman. My pick to go up against Superman is going to be Captain Marvel. And we can do cross company. I don't know what the hell you'd call it. DC versus Marvel.
Uh-huh.
All right. So you picked first on that one. I'll pick first on this one. My second choice is going to be, I'm going to go with Hulk. Now, who do you pick to go up against Hulk?
I am going to pick Sentry.
Oh, okay. All right. That's it for the power super strength group. Tech mastery group. Oh, you get the first pick here, Adrian. We got people like Iron Man, Batman, Lex Luthor, War Machine, Rocket. We were talking about Rocket. Ultron, Deathstroke, Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man.
Yep.
Vision. What do you got first?
I am going to go with Cyborg.
Wow. All right, Cyborg. Who do I think should go up against Cyborg? I am going to pick. See, I thought you were going to go with this one first. I'm going to throw Iron Man against Cyborg.
Yep.
All right. My first pick for the next battle, Batman. We can't do a tournament and not have Batman in it. So, who do you pick to face Batman?
I would pick Lex Luthor.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Next up, magic, mysticism. We have people like Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Loki, Shazam's on here, Hellboy. Wow, that's interesting. Ghost Rider, Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
I picked first last, so you pick first.
I don't know. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin. I'm gonna go with. No, you pick first.
I go with Strange.
Strange. Okay. I am gonna go with Strange. I'm gonna go with Spawn.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm gonna pick first for the next one. I am going to pick. I'm going with Scarlet Witch. Who do you pick to face Scarlet Witch?
I'm gonna go with
Your boy's on there, dude.
Morgan Le Fay.
Whoa. I don't even know who that is. That'll be a hidden gem too, maybe.
Yep.
All right, next category, speed and agility. I picked first on this one. Let's see. There's people like Flash, Quicksilver, Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, Catwoman, Elektra, Daredevil. Ooh, shit. Now I'm torn. I'm gonna pick Daredevil. That's my first one. Who's facing Daredevil, Adrian?
Speed and agility, that's two different things, though.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go with Flash.
Oh shit, Ezra Miller Flash?
Definitely not the Ezra Miller Flash, but Flash.
All right, I'm gonna go. Actually, you pick first for the next match.
Spider-Man.
Nice. If you didn't pick him, that would have been my choice. We can't not have Spider-Man. Who should Spider-Man face? I'm gonna go with. How about Nightcrawler?
Okay.
Be an interesting fight. All right. Bracket 5, stealth and strategy is what this bracket is called. We have Black Panther, Catwoman, Green Arrow, Winter Soldier, Red Hood, Batwoman, Black Canary. A lot of DC on this one. I went first last time, so you go.
Out of this, I'm going to go with, since Batman's not on here, Nightwing, the protege.
Okay. You got Nightwing. I am going to go with who should face Nightwing. Let's go with, I got Nick Fury on here. I don't know how that's going to play out. How about, you know what, Red Hood. Let's go Nightwing and Red Hood. Let's keep it in the Bat family.
Okay.
And then my first choice for the next battle would be Black Panther.
Okay. Black Panther.
Oh, there's Moon Knight on here. There's Winter
Stealth
Soldier.
and strategy. I'll go with Moon Knight because he's supposed to be the Batman thing.
That's a good one. All right, next bracket, cosmic powers. We have Silver Surfer, Starfire, Green Lantern, Nova, Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel, but Marvel version.
Mm-hmm.
We have Star-Lord. We have Phoenix. Wow. Shit, who's going first on this one? Me? Yeah, you went first last time. I'm going to go with Phoenix.
I'm going to go with Galactus.
Ooh, Phoenix versus Galactus. And then who's your first pick for the next fight? We had Darkseid. There's Green Lantern.
Spectre.
Ooh, Spectre. I'm going to go with, let's see, Spectre. I'm going to say Silver Surfer.
Okay.
That's also a character who I'd love to see done again in a movie.
Spectre?
Properly. No, Silver Surfer.
Yeah, oh yeah. You definitely got to get him back.
Yeah.
As something.
As shitty as that second Fantastic Four movie was, I think the highlight of it was Silver Surfer.
Oh, yeah.
Healing and durability. All right. I went first last time, so you go. We have people like Wolverine, Deadpool, Luke Cage, The Thing, Sabretooth, Ghost Rider. Solomon Grundy's in this motherfucker. X-23, Groot. Pretty good bracket here. Who do you got?
Wow, it's a lot of good ones on
here. It is, dude. This is tough bracket. We got Drax. We got Jessica Jones.
Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the Immortal Hulk on this one first.
Hulk. All right. Immortal Hulk. I'm going to go with who should face Immortal Hulk? Deadpool.
I can't even see him.
Yeah. And then my next one my first pick for the next round is going to be Wolverine.
Okay.
We got to have. Who's going up against Wolverine, Adrian? You got Ghost Rider. You got Lobo. You got Solomon Grundy. I love me some Solomon Grundy, dude.
Yeah.
Born on a Monday.
I go with my boy that keeps messing with Wolverine on his birthday every year. Sabretooth.
Nice. We're always up for a good Wolverine Sabretooth fight.
Right.
All right, last bracket, Adrian. Psychic and mind control.
Here we go.
This is an intent because these are not super strong.
Right.
You know, hey, Professor X and Hulk get into a fist fight.
Mm-hmm.
Professor X will need more than a wheelchair when he's done.
Yep.
But psychic mind control, we have Jean Grey, we have Professor X, Emma Frost, Martian Manhunter, Psylocke, Cable, Miss Martian, Raven, Black Bolt, handful of people here. So you went first last. I'll pick just because he doesn't get enough. You don't see him in many battles. I'm going to go Professor X.
Okay. I'm going to go with White Queen.
White Queen, okay. And then who is your first pick for the final battle here? Got Mantis on here, Psylocke. Always big fan of Psylocke. Emma Frost.
Don't know who Quentin Quire is.
No. Black Bolt's on here.
X and Queen. So, wow, that's a good
pick,
one. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to screw up your last pick, dude.
Right. That's the name I was looking for. Emma Frost.
There we go. Emma Frost. All right. So who am I gonna pick to go up against Emma Frost? Moondragon, Miss. I'm gonna go with Cable.
Okay.
I can do some. Actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm going with Psylocke.
Okay.
Psylocke.
I was gonna ask him Cable. Really?
Yeah. All right. That is it. We got some time today, Adrian. I say we pick maybe one or two of these, go through them, and then we wrap this show up.
Let's go.
So we got. Why don't we pick one from the super strength? That's category 1, and then we'll do one from the other side of this, which would be stealth and strategy.
Okay.
All right. So super strength. We might as well hop into Superman versus Captain Marvel.
Okay.
All right. So these two, you're probably, I said that you have more. You said you had more comic history than me.
Uh-huh.
I think you have a better understanding of power sets than me.
Okay.
Okay. So before we even get into what happens when they fight, Superman, Captain Marvel, talk to me about their powers and who's more powerful in your mind.
I would say hand to hand, probably. I would say Superman.
Okay.
Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. She's at the 100-ton level.
Okay.
That's like Hulk resting.
Yeah.
But Superman, I mean, this dude can lift planets.
Right.
If you irradiate him, I mean, before we even get into the different versions of the Superman, like the Superman 1000,
Yeah.
He can do some amazing things just naturally, and by naturally I mean without any kind of enhancements. Right. Captain Marvel, she would have to get into her binary mode, which then her strength is pretty much unlimited. But we're not talking about binary.
Right. No, we're talking base, right?
We're
base,
talking base.
Superman.
We're talking base. So I would go with Superman.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. I think if we were going binary, full power set, it'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
But Superman, because here's the thing: unless you have kryptonite, which I'll say the only one who came to this tournament with kryptonite was Batman.
Right.
Because he came with whatever he needed to defeat everybody in the tournament.
Right.
Let's just be real about that's Batman does. Tony Stark probably has some different tech. He's probably next one up there. But, Batman's prepared. He saw the list prior to and was like, if any's mom, I'm going to kill this one. That. I mean, he knows how to kill the entire Justice League and knows where his
exactly,
boys, right?
Exactly.
So, but Captain Marvel don't got kryptonite.
Right.
So, yeah, I would agree. I think Superman beats Captain Marvel here. Now, do you think would it be a good back and forth? Do you think it'd be over quick?
I think it'll be over quick because when Captain Marvel hit Thanos, who's also probably not even 100-ton level,
right?
He's pretty much up there.
Yeah.
He survived a couple of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think we do Superman a disservice because he's kind of a pussy when it comes to hurting people.
Yes.
You know, he's like Batman. He won't kill unless absolutely necessary, until the Joker went off and, killed, Lois and the baby and blew up Metropolis. But, so we rarely get to see him just lay down the law.
Yeah.
Or we barely see him in situations where he needs to display his full range of strength.
Gotcha.
We don't see him moving planets often, right? We see the super speed, the heat vision, things like that. But I just think base, he would just wipe the floor with most people in the comic book universe.
Now, so Superman, obviously super strong, super damn fast.
Yep.
He can shoot lasers out of his eyes. Now, Captain Marvel can generate power. And almost like, you say the binary kind of pulls from a star, but she has some type of kinetic energy that she can just blast out to you, right? Now, is that going to phase Superman at all, or is he strong enough to pretty much brush that off?
I don't know about brush off, but, that's a different power set.
Yeah.
I think if between the two of them, first of all, if he just came in with the strength, it'll be over quickly.
So he's that much stronger than
Well, it's not just the strength, but it's his speed.
Yeah.
So if we in this category, we're talking about strength. We're talking about them sitting down and arm wrestling.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Superman pretty much immediately.
Got it.
But if we're talking about them two fighting, them two being Superman and Captain Marvel, first of all, Superman can move like the Flash. So and Captain Marvel cannot move like that. So he can be in places before she even decides to use most of her power sets. This is not going to be a Gaia versus Gravik moment.
Right.
This is going to be over quickly, assuming Superman wants to get the job done.
Yep, I gotcha. All right, let's. So we agree that Superman moves on, right? We agree that. Next up, let's go with one from the other side. Why don't we hop into? How about here? Stealth and strategy.
Stealth and strategy.
Nightwing versus Red Hood. I am gonna say that I think Nightwing wins this one. I think that Red Hood, he's definitely, I think he's a little stronger. I think he's more reckless, though. I think Nightwing, he's the original Batman protege.
Right.
Now, the advantage that Red Hood has over Nightwing is Red Hood's more brutal. He don't have that kind of, like you said, how Superman won't, he'll hold back a little bit. Batman won't kill. Red Hood don't give a shit. Red Hood would kill. He'd kill. So he has that advantage, but I think Nightwing has him in speed. I think Nightwing's smarter than him. So I think he'd outsmart him, and I think it would be a hell of a fight. I really do. I think it'd be back and forth a lot. But I feel like in the end, Nightwing would win, not by a lot, but I think he'd take him.
Okay. Well, once again, we're in agreement.
Okay.
One of the things that have you seen the Teen Titans?
Yep.
Show?
Yes.
So Nightwing is not holding back.
No.
On too much. I think he's...
Oh, you're talking about the live action Titans.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Oh,
so,
he's a savage in that.
So I don't think he's, upholding that Batman stuff anymore.
Okay.
He's
That's
grown
fair.
and he needs to get done. But I do agree this would be a back and forth. I do believe, even though he doesn't necessarily subscribe to the I'm not going to kill or harm kind of a thing. I do think that one of the things that he has taken from Bruce is to be methodical, think through your actions, set your opponent up. He's chess through most of his fights, just like Batman,
right,
while everybody else is playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
Not even checkers. They're just playing something complete. They're on a whole different game.
Yep.
These two cats, Batman and Nightwing, they're just on a whole different, their strategy is their mind and their body,
right,
not just their body. And I agree. He'll probably piss Red Hood off, get him all, mentally, emotionally, entangled, and then just take care of him. But it would be a struggle.
Gotcha. All right, let's go. We got time. We'll do one match from each bracket this week.
Sure.
And then next week we'll do the other match from each bracket to find who moves on and who's going to be facing each other the following week. So we'll go back. Let's go to Tech Mastery here. We got Iron Man Cyborg. What you got on this?
I want to say Iron Man, but I think Cyborg, because Tony can make stuff in a lab.
Yeah.
But Cyborg can just make stuff on the fly.
Right.
He also has access, world access to all kind of other things. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about him building things. It's about him having immediate access to it. Tony would have to build something to have access to something. Cyborg has in real time access to things besides the fact that he can just generate stuff on the fly.
Man, so you're gonna say Iron Man doesn't even make it past the first round. He's your favorite.
He's my favorite, but he's my favorite for different reasons.
Yeah.
Not because even though he figured out time travel.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to tech mastery, I think Cyborg's got him.
Got it, man. I'm on the fence on this. So I agree with what you're saying. Cyborg, I would say, has more power at his fingertips. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here's where I'm a little hesitant though. Mm-hmm. Tony Stark is a genius.
Yep.
Your point about Nightwing playing chess. Mm-hmm. Tony Stark's also playing chess with Cyborg. Cyborg's playing Go Fish.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think you need to dig into Cyborg because Victor Stone, he's brilliant too.
Really?
Just like his father. Yeah.
Yeah. As brilliant as Tony?
I don't know about as brilliant, but brilliant differently.
Okay. I hear everything you're saying.
Yep.
I feel like Iron Man's going to find a way.
Okay.
I feel like he is. So, what do? We're at a crossroads, Adrian.
Flip the coin, baby.
Flip the coin, dude. So, we'll say heads is Cyborg.
Okay.
Tails is Tony Stark.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Oh, man, I really suck at catching this coin. Tails, Tony Stark.
Tony Stark it is.
All right. There we go. That's how we solve debates here on Only Comics. That's what they should do in politics.
Exactly.
You don't agree with that? I want higher taxes. Flip a coin. All right, screw it. Yep. Next meeting. All right, so we got that. Next bracket, magic and mysticism.
Magic and mysticism.
Let's look at, I would say, I don't even know who Morgan Le Fay is, so let's go there. Scarlet Witch, Morgan Le Fay. I don't know who they are, so I'm going to pick Scarlet Witch. So this is going to be on you to talk me through this one, Adrian.
Morgan Le Fay is what's his face's protege. What's the guy from? Oh, I can't even think of that. Wow.
We said we're not experts, though.
Merlin.
Okay.
Morgan Le Fay is Merlin's protege.
Got it.
And at some point, she seduced him and stole all of his secrets.
Yeah.
She's malicious, dude. And I think that is what gives her an up on Scarlet Witch. She has pretty much all the power sets, and she has that old dark magic.
Okay.
That old dark magic. And I think her cynicism and her viciousness gives her an edge over Scarlet Witch.
Got it. Well, we're going to flip a coin on this one too. Then
okay, let's do it.
All right, we'll go. Same thing. We'll do heads for Morgan, tails for Scarlet. All right. Oh, I caught this one. Heads, Morgan. It is.
All
right. Morgan moves on. Let's see. We have speed and agility. Let's go with Daredevil and Flash.
That's not even fair.
No,
it's not fair.
For what side?
For Daredevil. Okay, so Daredevil he's like Batman. He's a practiced human perfectionist.
Yeah.
Right. He can do some tricks. He's learned a lot of stuff. Because when he got his powers wasn't speed and agility.
Yeah.
His power is this being able to see like a bat pretty much.
Right.
And he learned everything else. And he honed his skills around that pretty much ultrasound or sonar kind of power, right? Speed and agility, the Flash doesn't need to be agile, even though he is.
Right.
But this dude can run through space and time. It's not fair. I think from that perspective, only because he can move before Daredevil even thinks about moving. So, but we picked them initially.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about whether it's fair or not.
Right.
But I'm obviously going to pick, the Flash.
You're going to pick the Flash. Now, you don't think Daredevil,
No.
with his supersonic hearing, all
No.
this stuff, he can't hear Flash coming. It's too fast.
No.
Too fast. No shot.
None. Zero. Zilch.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. All right. We got, how many more we got here? I think we got one or two more. So we got three more. Next up, cosmic powers. Let's go. We got Phoenix and Galactus. I'm going to say Phoenix. Phoenix has, similar to, the binary Captain Marvel, they say she has power like from a star. Phoenix has the power of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say at full power, she could literally just draw the power from the sun and destroy Galactus. What do you say?
I'm going to go with Galactus because Galactus' power, he eats planets to sustain his power.
Yeah.
Right? He can bestow life and death and power to other people.
Okay.
So I think the Phoenix power is limited to just, kind of like binary, where you can manipulate, the cosmic energy.
Mm-hmm.
But so can Galactus.
Okay.
But he also does other things. So I'm going to go with Galactus.
Got it. If Galactus falls into the sun, does he survive?
Absolutely.
He does. Okay. I'm going to lean on Phoenix. Let's heads for Phoenix, tails for Galactus. Here we go. Oh, heads. Just so you know, I'm not cheating, Adrian. Just so you know.
I believe you, Mike. We good.
We'll have
we
some
good.
viewers like, he
We
cheated.
good.
I don't know. Like, no. Hey, it is what I lost him too. It's all good. All right. Healing and durability. Let's go with Wolverine and Sabretooth. Classic battle. I know they've fought a million times.
Right.
I'm going to say at the end of the day, Wolverine with the claws, he's going to find a way to beat Sabretooth. He's going to get his ass whooped. It's going to be brutal. But if we're King of Comics, we're having this tournament one-on-one, all the lights are on, I feel like Wolverine's going to come out of it. I believe that his healing ability is better than Sabretooth's.
So are we talking about the healing ability, which is what this category
We're talking about
is?
just the fight.
Or are you talking about them fighting?
Just the fight, yep. So, yeah, I'm sorry. So it's not – these are just how we're grouping them.
Okay.
But we're saying they fight.
Okay.
You and I are commentating on the fight. Who do we say is going to win? I think it's going to be Wolverine.
So Sabretooth is larger
Yep.
than Wolverine. He's also – so Wolverine has to get into this savage mode, berserker mode.
Yep.
Sabretooth is always
he's
in
already there. I'll give you that.
the berserker mode.
Yeah.
I think, and the fact that he taunts him every year for his birthday, finds him wherever he is in the world, and just picks a fight with him, and then they walk off, happy birthday. He's not concerned about Wolverine.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Sabretooth.
Wow. Good thing we got the coin, dude.
Right?
All right, let's go.
What is it?
You know what? We'll start over. Hey, how about this? The scratches are Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
All right,
there we go.
So tails is Wolverine. Heads is, oh my God, what is happening here? No, it's tails. There we go.
Wolverine
Makes it through.
is.
Now that's one you think. Now, would you be heavy Sabretooth or think it could kind of go either way?
I think it could kind of go either way.
Yeah.
But I think one of Logan's downfall is like the Batman Superman thing. He's emotional.
Okay.
I think Sabretooth is just savage.
Yeah.
And he would just go. He just don't care.
Okay. All right. Last one for the week. Professor X and White Queen. I'm gonna lean on you a little bit on this one because I'm somewhat familiar with White Queen, not that much. So first of all, bring me up to speed on her powers.
She's a high level telepath as well. I think that, like, for example, I think that she's actually responsible to a degree for Jean Grey becoming the Phoenix.
Okay.
Because she messed with her mind so much with the they had a club, the White Club, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Hellfire Club.
Yes.
The Hellfire Club, and they trapped Jean, kind of like what Wanda did. She created this whole universe.
Oh yeah.
The White Queen created this whole thing in Jean's mind. I believe I'm saying this correctly.
Yeah.
So, in other words, she's able to carry this thing day to day, while Xavier, I mean, he can make you think you're seeing something.
Yeah.
He can, in other words, he can alter your perception of what the universe is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can affect you directly mentally. But I think the fact that the White Queen can carry this stuff day to day, I think long term, she would defeat him.
Yeah. Now wait, isn't the White Queen and Emma Frost the same person?
Is it?
Yeah, I think we screwed up.
You know what? As I was saying this, I was thinking, is it White Queen or is it Emma Frost? And apparently,
I think it's the same person.
People. Okay.
All right. So you know what? We need a new pick then. Look at that.
All right.
We're not even experts on tournaments, dude.
Right.
We don't know how this shit works. So we're gonna keep Emma Frost / White Queen against Professor X.
Okay.
You're saying that she's gonna beat Professor X.
Yes.
Now that I know that they're the two the same.
Well, let's pick another one too. Let's take out Emma Frost and put
we'll put someone else against Psylocke.
Against Psylocke.
All right, so I picked Psylocke, so I'll let you have that pick. But for this match, Professor X, White Queen, yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think Emma Frost, White Queen would edge out in a one-on-one fight. Yes, because all you gotta do is run over there and kick his wheelchair over.
Right.
I mean, all right. So,
Again, it's not just the power; it's the mind behind it.
Right.
And the White Queen, Emma Frost, is more malicious.
Yes, true.
Than Xavier.
True. All right, so I got Psylocke, dude. Who you picking to go up against Psylocke? We got Miss Martian. We got Mantis. Who else we got on here? Black Bolt.
Out of all that, I would probably go with Moondragon.
Moondragon, okay.
If I remember her correctly.
Got it. There's also Raven. That's a good one. All right, Moondragon and Psylocke. So that match will be next week. So here's what we had so far. Here's who's moved on. Superman beat Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to face either Hulk or Sentry.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man beat Cyborg. He's going to face Batman or Lex Luthor. Morgan Le Fay beat Scarlet Witch. She's going to face either Spawn or Doctor Strange. Flash beat Daredevil. As you said, no chance. He's going to face either Spider-Man or Nightcrawler. Nightwing edged out Red Hood. He'll face either Black Panther or Moon Knight. This is going to be a good one.
Right.
Phoenix beats Galactus. Flip of a coin. She'll face Spectre or Silver Surfer. Wolverine beats Sabretooth. He's going to face Deadpool or Immortal Hulk. White Queen beats Professor X, and she will face either Moondragon or Psylocke. There you have it.
There we go.
King of Comics.
And I got to do some research between now and next week.
You and me both, dude. That's what's actually, honestly, been another fun part about this podcast is I've learned a lot more about comics since we've been doing it.
Right.
So we are, again, not experts. We're learning as we go.
Yep. We're doing deep dives on our side as well.
Absolutely. So there you have it. You got that. You got our Mount Rushmore. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Sound off in the comments. Let you know, do you agree? Do you not? Did we pick the right winners? I don't know. Well, do you think Iron Man would have beat Cyborg? I don't know. Adrian didn't agree. The coin agreed.
Right.
So another fun week. Adrian, thanks for joining me here today.
As always, bro.
As always, dude, we'll be back next week in Only Comics where we discuss comics and Only Comics and maybe some other shit.
Right.
Maybe.
Bicycle going off into the sunset kind of stuff,
You know what? We went through a whole week, Adrian. We didn't trash The Flash. Right. We didn't say much about Ali Salim.
Didn't say much about Tom.
Didn't say much about Tom Cruise. There was no tomfoolery or Tom Cruisery in this. You know what someone said about our Tom Cruisery video? They said if they're going to ask a celebrity about their opinion of a movie, they should ask Nick Cage. I'm like, you listen to us because you know you're going to upset us.
Right.
No, don't ask any of them. You know who you should ask?
Us.
I know exactly who you should ask.
Right.
Me and Adrian.
Right, that's right. Come right here, Only Comics. We'll give you the truth.
Exactly.
And we have a track record of giving the truth and being right.
Absolutely. Dude, I can't wait to hear what everyone's going to say about you putting Black Adam on the Mount Rushmore, your Mount Rushmore comic book movies. You really stirred them up with that, dude.
Hey, it's okay. That's the way it works.
You know what we should do? We both have seen this movie several times. We should rewatch it and review it.
Works for me.
let's do it next week.
All right.
We got nothing else coming out.
Right.
Might as well. Those of you that hate it, don't want to watch a show. Or maybe you do, so you can disagree with us.
Right.
But because I've never scored the movie here. You haven't, right?
No.
So we're gonna treat Black Adam. We're gonna give it the deep dive treatment.
Right.
Dude.
We're gonna treat it like it just came out.
Absolutely.
Next week.
Yep. And we're going to show you the difference between that and the Flash and the Blue Beetle and whatever else they're going to put out from now till.
Listen, dude, as long as we don't have to actually watch the Flash again. I mean, we can go off of memory, please. Can we go off of memory?
Yeah, we'll go off of memory. If we ever review that movie again, we'll go off of memory.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd ever watch it again. Now, in other comic news, like I mentioned, Guardians 3 is on Disney Plus. If you've not seen it yet, highly recommend checking it out. We're at this point where we put movies on late at night and fall asleep. So we're on night 3 of it, me and my wife, because she's not seen it yet. But I'm rewatching. I'm like, dude, this movie is freaking awesome, dude.
Right.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
In a good way. Not no tomfoolery way. Like good comedy.
Right.
Drax, I said this, and my wife and my kids almost dropped out of their chair. I said, one of my favorite MCU characters of all time is Drax. Batista's betrayal is hilarious.
Right.
And I like that he got more, kind of shine in this recent movie. Like they kind of did it justice. So, well, there you have it. We'll proceed with King of Comics next week. We'll review Black Adam. We'll give you our real deep dive into that. And we'll see you here next week on Only Comics.
Peace.